Welcome everyone. This is my Game Week 20 points, and I want to talk about Game Week 21 too in this video. And I think there's not a lot of time in between, so I don't think we need two live streams, right? So maybe I'll just stream on Friday or maybe just on the deadline day. So please let me know when should we stream, right? Please write it in the comment section because yeah, as I said, I think this video and one more stream is good enough for this Game Week 21 to be prepared for it. So yeah, as I was talking, this is the point for my Game Week 20. So I took a -8 hit for Cancelo, Diaz, and Gundogan. That kind of worked out, right? And yeah, maybe captainship did not. I think Fernandes was the most obvious kind of captainship, but I don't think there's anything like safe captainship now because I don't know, people were captaining Gundogan, Rafinha, Cancelo, maybe even Bamford. Bamford maybe did not work out, but still, most of the differential captainship kind of worked out this week. So another thing that I kind of have to apologize to people is about, I kind of suggested a lot of people to bench Souček this week. I do remember that. And yeah, the low budget midfielders, all the Saka, Rafinha, Gundogan, Souček, these all kind of players kind of turned up this week, right? So I'm sorry about that. I also personally actually kind of played Coufal ahead of Ward-Prowse, right, this week. So I'm also the victim of that. So I'm very sorry about that suggestion. I think that was a very bad suggestion, but still I had no idea that Souček would perform the way he did, right? And FPL is just like that, you get some decisions right, you get some decisions wrong. Like getting in Cancelo, Diaz, Gundogan, those were the best thing that I did this week. And I mean, no, I'm suggesting people to bench Souček. I think that was one of the bad ones, but yeah, these kind of things happen. So yeah, it's best if you take your own decisions and just take suggestions from others. So I'm very sorry about that again. So yeah, let's forget about that, and again, apology for that. Let's just move on. Firstly, as I said, the hit paid off, right? And going into the Game Week 21, I think I kind of feel pretty confident. I need to make some transfers. I do have some plans for it. I still have Salah and Keane left to play tonight, right? So those are big hitters. I do believe Salah had a pretty good FA game against Man United. So I hope that is continued in Premier League 2. Let's see what happens. So as I said, there's no thing as safe captainship, I guess. So maybe just play around with your captainship this week also. It might work out. So yeah, let's move on to Game 21 and my plans. So before the Game Week 21, before the Game Week 20 started, my plan was easily just get Son in my team for Ward-Prowse, right? But I was just kind of playing around with my team, and I kind of found out that I could remove just Bissouma and get Son. So maybe I'll just remove Bissouma for Son and play the 5 midfield, right? I could do that. For this one more week, I can play Ward-Prowse. I think he's on all kind of set pieces, and Aston Villa conceding 3 against Burnley is kind of surprising. So apparently Burnley can also score. So yeah, I think my plan for now is just remove Bissouma for Son. Now I have only exact money to do that. So as soon as the Liverpool and Spurs game is over, so I'll just be tracking the price changes of Son, right? So as soon as it looks like it's gonna change, I think I'll make the transfer. If I do, I'll let you know in the Instagram account of mine, right? So yeah, that is my plan for now. Now other choice is maybe you could get Calvert-Lewin, because next match is he's facing against Newcastle, and after that Leeds. So after that, one more tough game, and again after that is another easy game. So I feel like Calvert-Lewin is not that bad of an option. And another option is Grealish too. So the only reason I removed Grealish in game week, I think the double game week, right? I removed him for double game week, and what happened was that Grealish was on 4 yellow cards. So that was one of the main reasons I removed Grealish for De Bruyne. So now since then, Grealish has been performing very well, right? So I still feel like he's not a bad option at all. He's not a bad option. He is the talisman of the team. He's a big catalyst on the pitch. And the thing is, he's still on 4 yellows. And another player that I have is Fernandes, who is also on 4 yellows. So I do kind of worry, right? They could easily get 5th yellow card in the same game week, and they could miss the game in the same time. So I think that will be a lot of money in the bench. That is one of the reasons I did not want to get Grealish in a hurry. So I think I'll still not get Grealish, but any one of you who wants to get Grealish, and you are fine with that risk of him being on 4 yellows, I think you should get Grealish. And yeah, and moving on to that Everton side, I think Digne also is kind of playing as a midfielder now. in the last game he played like a left midfielder, not even the left back. There were 4 defenders at the back and still he was in the left wing. So it looks like he's playing in more of an advanced position. So Digne might be one of the player for attacking and defensive return. I wouldn't expect a lot of defensive return from Everton side. As always, they are not the best defensive side in the league, but when it comes to attacking ways, I think they are pretty good. So for now, DCL has not yet turned up, right? You could go to Richarlison, you could go to James Rodriguez also, right? But still, DCL has been the person to look up to from the Everton team this season. So yeah, Everton assets also don't look that bad at all. So recently I've been kind of getting questions about Watkins. So looking at his recent performance, I mean, you can't deny that he's a good asset, and also the fixtures are not that bad, right? But again, I think for that kind of price range, I would also prefer Antonio, because like if you watch that game of Antonio, I think he could have easily scored 2 or 3 against Crystal Palace that game. He was hitting the bar a lot. He was kind of missing silly chances, I guess, and he was frustrated the way that he was playing himself, right? So I feel like looking at the fixture, maybe next game is not so good for West Ham against Liverpool, but still, I think I would rather go for Antonio than Watkins, but that does not mean Watkins is a bad choice, right? So if you are one of those who is kind of tangling between Watkins and Antonio, I personally think Antonio is a better choice. Looking at how he has performed against Crystal Palace as of recent form, I personally think I would go for Antonio rather than Watkins, but still, Watkins is not that bad of a choice at all. Looking at the fixtures, the way that he has been returning points, and looking at his price range, I think he's just fine. And another player that I was kind of asked about was Maddison. So Maddison, he's on all kinds of set pieces and he played full 90 minutes. Although he did not return, I still think his fixtures is still good enough, right? And not having Vardy means more responsibility on Maddison and Barnes and these kind of players, right? And I do remember one of our viewer, Sagnik, he was kind of persistent about how he should play Tielemans this week, right? Tielemans and Wilson, those were the players he was kind of confused about. But still, one thing I did not know about Tielemans is that in last 4 games he has returned points in all of them. So I did not know about that Tielemans. And also the thing about him is, since there's no Vardy, Tielemans is the one who takes the penalties. So Tielemans and Maddison, I don't see a lot of problem in them. So if you want to get hands on them, I think it's fine. If you already have them, right, as an asset, just leave them there for now. I don't see a lot of problem. The thing is, a lot of budget players are kind of performing right now rather than the expensive players. So yeah, players who bought Sterling this week was kind of not very happy because Gundogan and Cancelo also outscored. They are the cheaper player, Gundogan, Cancelo, these are very cheap, half the price of Sterling, and still they outscore Sterling. So that does kind of take the fun away for the Sterling owners, right? So it's the same with Tielemans and Maddison and all these kind of players. So I think these players are fine. Between Watkins and Antonio, I think I'd go for Antonio, right? If you can overlook the fact that how, still Antonio can still score against Liverpool because Liverpool's defense is not that bad, right? So yeah, Antonio might get something there. And after that, the fixture looks better compared to Aston Villa's fixtures. So if Aston Villa can concede 3 against Burnley, I mean, they can concede 3 against any other team, right? Because Burnley have been rubbish in front of goal, but still they got 3 goals. So yeah. So in my opinion, Watkins, Antonio, Maddison, these are very good, assets. And maybe if you want to lean towards Tielemans because of his penalty duties, maybe he might work out too. So for me personally, I think it should be Son that I'll be getting in. So I might even look at DCL, but for now, I think it will probably be Son that I'll try and get in my team. And I personally specifically wanted to talk about Chelsea. So I watched their match. I was like kind of very curious about how they would perform after the departure of Lampard, right? So the lineups were different. James was not there, Mount was not there, Pulisic was not there, right? Warner was not there. So still, I think Tuchel is still in a experimental phase, and I kind of liked what I saw with Chelsea. They did not score, but still they were completely dominant entire game. Like they could have lost the game. Like they were kind of caught in the counter attacks of Wolves twice or thrice, right? Neto could have scored, these players could have scored, they could have easily lost. Chelsea could have easily lost 1-0 because of the counter attacks. But when Chelsea did have the ball, like they look very, very impressive. So from that game, I think one of the things about Chelsea is I think they have very exciting players, right, for a very cheap price. So if you look at Ziyech and Havertz and Warner, these kind of players, I think they are way more cheaper than Salah and Sterling and Fernandes, these kind of players. So they have not turned up yet, the Chelsea players. Now maybe it's just about time, but as I said, what I saw, I liked, because the ball control, the movement, everything was pretty fast. Now, specifically, one of the players I want to talk about is Chilwell. So I was watching the game, and I was kind of surprised how many times that Chilwell was in the opponent's D-box area, right? He was literally living there in the first half, particularly. If not in the second half, he kind of dropped off. But in the first half, he was like getting so many crosses. In the game had just started, it was just 6-7 minutes, and he has already put 3-4 crosses in the D-box area, right? It was just about time that Giroud got a header and scored. So, and it was not just 3-4 crosses; those were 3-4 good crosses. So, Chilwell is one of the assets that I'm kind of looking at from the Chelsea side. I think I liked what I saw with Chilwell. And another place is Ziyech. Now, Ziyech is kind of a risky one, because like there's a lot of option where Ziyech can be rotated, and he's not the most robust physically not fit player. He kind of gets injured here and there. So he might not get full 90 minutes all the time, Ziyech, but he's on all kind of set pieces. Now, I was looking at the match. Chilwell was not taking the corners. He was not taking the direct free kicks. So he was not even taking the long free kicks. Everything was taken by Ziyech. So, but Ziyech can easily be replaced by Mount or Pulisic or Hudson-Odoi. So Ziyech might be a rotation risk. But when it comes to Chilwell, I think from that Chelsea side, two players that I was kind of impressed under Touchel was Chilwell and Ziyech. So Havertz was fine, I guess. I don't know. He's fine. But still, I think I would go to Chilwell in upcoming days. I'm not in a hurry, right? I feel like Tuchel is still experimenting. There might be some changes still, right? We don't know who, where. Aspi could play in the left. Chilwell could be benched another game just for the experiment, just to see how teams perform with different formation and all that stuff. But as I said, from what I look at Chelsea, I liked it. So it's just about time they start scoring, right? But for now, I think Chilwell and Ziyech, those two players are the one I'll be looking at from Chelsea side. So now for Gameweek 21, this is what my team will look like. My captainship will be probably, so if talking about captainship, I think it will be Kane or Son for this week. I'm not sure whom yet, because it's pretty difficult to differentiate between them, right? But still, Kane is on penalties, but the XG for Son is higher than Kane for last 3 games. So it's kind of confusing. And Son is also on corners, right? And maybe also on free kicks. So it's kind of difficult to differentiate between Son and Kane. I think you have to kind of flip a coin or something. So you should make that decision on your own. I personally might just leave it on Kane, right, because of the penalty duties. I think Kane also has been super consistent as of recent, So I think I'm going to just leave it on Kane. You can look at the points in Gameweek 17, 18, 19, right? Super consistent. So I think I'll just leave it on Kane. So you could go for Son. You could play around with the Man City assets, right? You could go for again Cancelo, I guess. But still, I think what I said in Gameweek 20, before the Gameweek 20, is that if you are captain in Sterling, I think you are safe, because now there was debate between captaining Sterling and captaining Fernandes. Now the thing about Sheffield is, although they lose, they don't concede a lot. That is a fact. Although they lose, they just concede 1 or 2. And the thing about West Brom is they can lose heavily, because we did saw that against Leeds, right? They also conceded 5 or 6 against Leeds. I don't remember, but they conceded a lot. And the same thing happened with Man City side too. Now, I think one thing about the West Brom side, why they conceded so much was, I think maybe the second goal, the second goal was kind of controversial. Maybe because of that, the team morale kind of dropped for West Brom side. But still, that is one of the reasons. I still think, although Man City are in good form, I don't think Sheffield are going to concede a lot of goals, right? Maybe you could captain Cancelo again, because he was literally playing as a midfielder in that game. Like the goal, the assist, everything. He was like attacking midfielder after they had already scored 4 or 5 goals, right? So yeah, if you want to go for Man City asset again, maybe it might work out. I think I might just stick to Kane or Son this week, right? You could go for other assets also. If you want to go for Salah against West Ham United. West Ham also conceded 2 against Crystal Palace. Now, one of the reasons I kind of thought that Cresswell and Coufal might be good asset this week is because Crystal Palace had not scored for last 3 Premier League games, right? So maybe I thought there's another clean sheet, but they conceded in 3 minutes. So yeah, you don't get everything right. So yeah, as I said, this is what my first 11 might look like, where Bissouma might be changed to Son, right? Or maybe I could go for Davis to Calvert-Lewin. I could do that. I do have the money for that. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to make the transfer yet. Let's see what happens between Liverpool and Spurs tonight. So this is what my bench will look like. And another thing I want to talk about my team is removing Dallas and Coufal. I think it's time. It's about time I get rid of them. Right now, I'm not in a hurry to remove Coufal because he has Sheffield United and I think West Brom. I'm not sure. Yeah, Fulham. Sheffield United and Fulham in upcoming days. So I think there's at least one clean sheet there. So I'm not in a hurry, right, to get rid of him, Coufal, just yet. The one thing about Coufal and Dallas is that Coufal does not have any double game week coming up, but Dallas has, because their double game week was cancelled because of Southampton's game against Shrewsbury, right? So Dallas still has a double game week against Southampton, so maybe I could keep Dallas also, but still I don't like what I'm seeing with Dallas. He's also playing as a center midfielder, but still I don't like the way they are conceding, and he's not providing any attacking return. So it feels like it's about time I get rid of at least Dallas or Coufal or both of them. So I've not decided yet, and that is not a headache that I need to have for this week. So maybe I'll decide about that in next week. Maybe I'll just remove Dallas or Coufal for Mitchell if Mitchell keeps on getting time, or maybe even Kilman if Kilman keeps on getting time. So it depends. For now, all I know is I'm maybe bringing in I don't know, Calvert-Lewin or Son. It probably looks like I'll be getting Son. I don't have a problem doubling up on Kane and Son. I think it's fine. It's fine. The season that they are having, I think everything that happens for the Spurs team, it's through Kane and Son, or maybe Bergwijn also. Bergwijn also looks good, but still not as consistent. So yeah, this is probably it, right? So as I said, please let me know in the comment section if I should stream tomorrow on Friday or directly just stream on the deadline stream. So what do you guys think is more helpful? I guess I don't know, I'm making wrong decisions, but still, yeah, I love to share my opinions. So yeah, let me know in the comment box. And yeah, I do have Instagram account, do follow that. It's public actually, so I'll let you guys know if I make any kind of transfer or changes in my team. For now, bye bye, take care.